get better. There we are. Yay. Gotta love StreamYard. Hey, ladies. How are you? So we are coming live from all different parts of the world today. My name is Hannah Olivas. I'm one of the co-founders of She Rises, and we are excited to kick off our Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Entrepreneur book launch. Woo, woo, woo. There are 26 phenomenal women in this book. And unfortunately, they couldn't all join us, but we have 9 right now. And I think as time goes on, we're going to fluctuate them because StreamYard only allows 10 at a time. But I'm super excited about this book. It actually launches January 25th, which is 8 days away. For those of you who have been watching the journey of the first book, I believe this one is going to just be as successful as the first one, maybe even a little bit more. But I'm excited to be here. And so we're just going to dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about dream big, do bigger. And you have heard through the She Rises community and all the co-authors in book 1 and in book 2 just talk about really doing things, dreaming it, but then making it happen. And so today, that's kind of what we're going to talk to you about, is just what does that mean as an entrepreneur? So I'm going to kick it off. Where'd she go? There she is. I'm going to kick it off with Miss Natalie. She's going to start us off today, and I can't wait to hear what she has to say.
Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Natalie Pickett and I am from Melbourne, Australia. So I'm already in the next day here, and I often joke that I'm coming to you from the future. It's around 11 a.m. Melbourne time on, what day are you in? Monday. It's Tuesday here already. So I am excited to be here and share. I love doing these virtual updates and catch-ups with everybody. I love this topic today as well, dream big and do bigger, because it's right in my genius zone of living the dream, which is the name of my chapter in both books. So I'm in the first book, which you might notice behind me, and very excited to be in the next book, the Entrepreneur's version. So in the Entrepreneur's version, I'm excited to share more business stories. And in the first book, I share more personal stories about how I found my way through adversity by learning that becoming unstoppable is less about hard work and more about following your joy. So the dream big, do bigger is an interesting topic because dreaming is really important. It's so important for you to define your version of success in terms of what you want your business to do for you, because our businesses should work for us, not the other way around. And when people go into business, they often think they're going to have more time, more money, more freedom. But if they're not careful, the business takes over and it's driving everything, and we don't have time for ourselves. So something to think about today, I think, is that we are human beings, not human doings. So it's important to have the dream, and it's important to make the steps to achieve those dreams. But where the sweet spot is when you are enjoying what you're doing every day. And it's not about the end goal. So if you're only focused on the end goal, you're missing the point. So following your joy is making sure you are enjoying what you're doing every day. So when you're working, like for me, mentoring people, helping them grow their business, I love doing that. I have multiple businesses. I love all of them about my passion and following my joy. So when I'm working on them, I'm not saying some days are not challenging, but when I'm working on them, I think to myself, wow, I'm having so much fun. I get to do this. I get to do collaborations like this beautiful collaboration in this book. I get to work with amazing people. I get to share the joy in all of the projects and things that I do. And I only choose to do things. I only say yes to things that make my heart sing. So when I'm assessing things, our rational mind says, yeah, you should do this because of this, this, and this. But if it doesn't make your heart sing, then don't do it. So about dream big, do bigger, I ask myself the question when I dream it, I think, is that something really I want to do? And do I want to make it my business? So it's important to have that feeling about the dream and it excites you. But sometimes it's good to keep it as a hobby or just something you do for joy. But in terms of making it a business, do I want to do that? Does it make my heart sing? Will I enjoy the steps along the way? And following the joy is how you get to live your dream life in your business and in your personal life. And that's update from me. Thank you.
Natalie, wow, I loved it. I like how when you said, don't work for your business, let your business work for you. But I have a question because you are so seasoned. When you get those days, and I feel like we all do, when you get those days where you're just like, oh, like that's what I sound like at work. Oh. What do you do to kind of like get yourself, excited again, reignited that passion, that whole reason why you started to begin with? Like, how do you get that back when you're just,
Okay, so there's a few things. Thank you so much for the question, Hannah. I'm not saying I don't have days where I'm like, oh, I'm really not enjoying this. One of the first questions I ask myself is, how can I make it easier? The other question is why. I often talk about how our emotions are actually something that's important. So if you're feeling frustration, if you're feeling resentment, whatever it is you're feeling, ask yourself why I might be feeling that, and then realize what it is. So sometimes if you've lost an admin team member and you're doing admin and it's like, oh, I'm really not enjoying this. And it's like, how can I make it easier? I need to bring somebody else on board to do that work for me. That's a simple example of that. So I also do a physical modality called Feldenkrais, and it's about awareness of your body and how you move your body. And it's a really good lesson for life, is that when you're doing a movement with your body, it should be graceful and with flow, but we often use our bodies in forcing our body to do things. But with Feldenkrais, you're going for the flow, and it's a really good metaphor for life. It's like, how do I want my day to open up so it's joyful, graceful, and full of abundance? And I've really been thinking about this a lot lately as well, as we often think, oh, I need to fight this, and I fight my way through, or slay this, I'm a warrior, blah, blah, blah. But if you keep asking for challenges, the universe is going to keep giving them to you. So I spend time in the morning, I do a meditation, I think about how I want my day to flow, and I want to be graceful and enjoy my day. And yes, I'm not saying challenges don't come up, but thinking about how you want your day to flow and be joyful is a starting point for the day. I've got lots of other things. I've got courses on core values in terms of how do you integrate those into your business. I talk about this in the chapter, and my writing is your values will be what drives you on those days of struggle as well. And sometimes it's not days, sometimes it's weeks of struggle or months of struggle, but it's your values that drive you. And so you come back to those every day, and I make sure I make all of my decisions based on my value set. So that hopefully that answers your question with some tips as well that you can all start integrating as well. So.
And that is why she is in the book, ladies. She's Yoda. Thank you so much, Natalie, for sharing. I appreciate you. I love your words of wisdom, and I cherish each one. And I hope everybody was listening to that, because they're facts. All right, so let's just keep going.
I'm going to jump out. Thanks, ladies, because I think there's more in the waiting room. So I hope your day is full of joy.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. So I want to introduce one of our newer co-authors to the arena. She is pretty incredible, and I really just want the world to get to know her more and more. So I'm going to ask Gail to come on up and share your words of wisdom.
I wondered if you were going to pick me, of course. Hello, everyone, authors and those joining us on this call. So excited to be here. little nervous, but also very excited. This is my first ever publication, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm in the second book, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Entrepreneur. And in my chapter, I talk about my story of how many times I've quit in order to get here. People think that being unstoppable means doing all the things and running yourself ragged and just go, 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 go. And for me, that was not the case. Sometimes I had to quit and walk away in order to realize what I missed and what I really wanted. And that ties in really well to the dream big, do bigger, because this was something that I had always dreamed about doing. Interestingly enough, I only ever had a single chapter in mind. I just wanted to tell this story, the story that I share in my chapter. And so when the invitation to do it came up, I was like, well, heck yes, this is a chance for me to achieve a dream of mine, which is to publish this one chapter. Who knows if there'll be more to follow. But I also, the journey to becoming an entrepreneur is so tough. And that's not to discourage people. It's just to let you know that it's not necessarily easy. However, it's worth it to be able to inspire people and motivate people and empower people with the work that we do. Everyone here has such a special gift to offer. And I'm just excited that there's a avenue or a channel for us to do that. And so proud that people are brave enough to dream big and to do bigger. So I can't wait for this book to come out and to read everyone else's chapters and to see what everyone has to share in there. So yeah,
me too.
I'm excited.
Well, I've already read them all, but you didn't tell us what you do. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
It's funny. I'm almost afraid to open my mouth because I don't want to give away too much. Like I was like, I don't want to do any of these because I don't want to talk about this chapter before it's available. But I am an organizing strategist, and I bring to the table a blend of organizing, coaching, and design, which are my three biggest passions in life, is helping people or guiding people to awaken their mind, body, spirit, and space connection, and how it's all interconnected, and the ways in which our space impacts our overall health and wellness and affects how we operate in our business and in our life and in our relationships. And so that's the very abridged version of what I do, but I consider myself an organizing strategist and helping people to see things in a way with their space that they may not have before. It's an external solution to an internal struggle.
And I do, without a doubt, know you are organized.
I was thinking about the question that you asked the author before about what do we do when we're having those days. I do two things. One, I honor the feeling and I don't force myself to do anything. And oftentimes I go organize something.
I love it.
If I have a client to organize, I go organize my son's room, or I have plenty of spaces to keep up with because it's not a one and done. But that's my therapy is like, today I organized my office again because it was actually a mess. I take pictures to prove that it's not always perfectly in order because it's not about being in order. But that was me. So yeah. So
that's
thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna hop off.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you.
So next up, I want to introduce another seasoned entrepreneur. She is an amazing woman who I look to quite often for inspiration, and that is Miss Laura. How are you today?
Hi, Hannah. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. So I'm Laura Croce.
I love seeing your smile.
Business coach and consultant. And I'm really excited to do this book because I work with entrepreneurs and this just totally aligns with everything that I do. So I'm really excited. Even though I talked in the first book a lot about business, I actually talked even more so about it in my second book. And it's just, I think about, dreams and dreaming bigger. What would it look like if I wasn't able to live up to my potential. And I think about how God brings opportunities to me daily, and just to be open and receptive. Sometimes your dreams, can be way bigger than you even imagine. But if we're not open and receptive and having the mindset to say, okay, God, show me what to do in this situation. And I just love to be living one day at a time, and just be open and receptive, because I think a lot of times we think things should go a certain way for us. And God has a bigger and better plan. I never imagined being an author in a book. It wasn't even part of a dream that I even thought was going to be attainable for me. But if I didn't seize that opportunity when it came across my path, it's like, it's been so exciting meeting some wonderful ladies and being able to collaborate with them, and being able to help each other grow. So I just am grateful that I was able to see that opportunity and jump on it. In my first book, I talked about stepping out in faith, and that really aligns with everything that I do. My faith is everything. And then in my second chapter was staying in your own lane. And I think a lot of times too, as business owners, we try to multitask. We do take on too much, and those things will hold us back from reaching bigger dreams. And so being able to do that, and working with clients that I can help them be able to move forward with that, is just allowing them to see all the different possibilities that come across their path.
That's why I look to you, because you you and I text a lot, and ours is more texting about faith, perseverance, encouragement. But you are such an extraordinary woman entrepreneur. And really, truthfully, we were introduced through Pam, who I don't believe is going to join us today, but she's also in the book. And she kept saying, oh, wait till you meet Laura, you're going to love her. And she was right, because what's not to love? You've just been this inspiration to me. And I love the fact that I can be so transparent with you and speak about business, and speak about faith, and speak about worry, speak about all those things that we as women first and foremost go through, but also as women entrepreneurs. And I think that when they read your chapter, they're going to see just how extraordinary you are. So thank you for being a part of this
Hannah.
journey. Again, I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so let's just keep it going. We're on a flow, and I'm gonna pass it down to another. All these ladies are. I don't even have words anymore. Phenomenal, powerhouses, extraordinary, like just blessings, full of abundance. So that's my introduction for the next incredible woman, Miss Alicia Barong.
Hi, everyone. Oh, I'm so excited to be here today. And I love this topic because I really haven't told this story, and dream big, do bigger. But my name of my chapter is Changing the Chatter. And that's when I felt like I really became an entrepreneur. I'd been a coach, a hypnotherapist for years. But what I continued to see was that women who wanted to be entrepreneurs or wanted to grow in their business had all the stuff, all the chatter from their childhood, and it was stopping them from being successful. They were bringing in that person who said they were stupid, or that person who said they were ugly, and they were still holding on to it, and they're 35, 40 years old. So at that point, I said, I'm helping right now those women. What about if I help the future? And that became Changing the Chatter. I work with young girls. That is my entrepreneur world of changing the negative chatter so that they can become unstoppable women. It really was my dream to be able to make the world a better place for my granddaughter. That's why I wrote it, because I wanted her to be able to be strong, just like her mother. And so I wrote it. I wanted something bigger. I wanted girls to have a passion. I wanted girls to be able to say, I'm who I am. In the first book, I write about the fact that I wasn't that person for many, many years. I had a very difficult childhood. But everything that I learned through life coaching and therapy and all the stories that I have in my head from all those women and all those children, it was time to do something for them. And so that's how Chatter Girls started. And that's when I felt like I really became an entrepreneur. Up to that point, I felt like I was a life coach and a hypnotherapist, and I helped people's lives. But I wanted to do something. And it was a really, really hard one because I was dreaming big and it was a big playing ground. Lots of other people trying to do things. But my key was I wasn't just looking at those girls for what they look like. I was looking at those girls for what there was inside their mind. And that's where we have to go. And it's brought me on this journey. It's brought me here with this book. I'm really excited about this chapter because that will expose this amazing program to other girls, to other people. And I did dream big and I dreamed bigger. And so we celebrate 9 years and over hundreds of girls going through the program. So that was my dream.
That's so amazing. And I know I actually got to read your book. I did the Chatter Girl journal with my little Sophia, and I got to see the life in her. Like I've never seen her so focused. Matter of fact, I haven't seen her focused since then. So I know that what you're doing, working with these young women and these little girls and these young women are just life-changing. And I know that because you did it with Sophia. So thank you so much for sharing and for being a part of this. And for those of you that don't know, Alicia will be joining me every single Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to do a live. We will be talking about some incredible subjects. And so you're going to see a lot more of her. So thank you, Alicia, for being here today.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. I'm going to leave the room now. Take care. Thanks for the honor.
Wow. So you can see why it's so hard to have a favorite. You just can't have favorites in this. So our next incredible woman who I just adore more than anything, she is so, so sweet, so kind, so calming. And I think I just gave it away as to who's going to be next. I always say that I want to get my Snuggie when she talks. And it's because she's just the most amazing woman to calm the spirit, or at least mine. So Allison, welcome. How are you?
Thank you so much, Hannah. Yes, Snugglies would be mandatory for everyone on the next book tour. But I am Allison Mcleod. I am in Sault Ste. Marie in Northern Ontario in a snowstorm, but 'tis the season. And what I do is I help women who have lost the drive to succeed really find purpose, happiness, and love again for life so they can live their dream life in their true soul's expression. So that is, by definition, what your destiny is, what we're on this earth to do, because we tend to go through the motions, through education, get the job, follow your, path of somebody else and flow. And I help women sort of find out exactly who they are and how they live in exuberance and love life. So the dream big and do bigger was awesome because I even had to learn that lesson this week when a friend of mine, I said, oh, I'm just going to do this little thing. And they said, well, why don't you do this? It's so much simpler. I'm like, okay, I wasn't dreaming that big. It's nice too to have somebody beside you to say, you can always dream bigger. And did you think about something else? Because in those dreams, we get caught up on what it is we're doing. And as women, we're very focused. And before we went live, we were talking about, do we have time for self-care? Because we know how absolutely brutally important it is, but we never actually get to do it. So putting that in your calendar is certainly a good thing. But yes, in the book, Becoming an Entrepreneur, this is my 7th venture, and it's the soul expression sessions. And, talking about the conquering goddess, warrior versus the wizard, it is all about balancing the two. And I'm really excited about this chapter because I wrote one and I sent it to Charlotte, and then I called her the next day and said, you can't, it's horrible. You can't do it. So it was sitting down again and getting all this inspiration to write the chapter. And it's so awesome to hear it from all the other ladies too, and the excitement behind this book, because we've got a lot of momentum going, because it's just absolutely phenomenal for what you're doing, Hannah. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And don't you have like a really cool announcement? Didn't something just launch? How do we
Yes.
find that? Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I finally got my podcast up and running this week on Thursday. So I was just so excited to see that actually out in the world. And then, I was messaging some people going, how do you know if anyone's even listened to it? Like, I was just so green when it came to this. But yes, the Soul Expressions, they're on the Wealthy Women Entrepreneurs Network. And also, I think on Spotify and Google Podcast, and I'm not quite sure where else yet, but pretty exciting to finally see that out there. But, I stopped myself for a long time getting there, doing other things. So yes, as an entrepreneur, you can really get bogged down in stuff. So I guess my biggest advice is let go of the stuff and miracles happen. And it's been pretty awesome. So thank you.
Well, congratulations to your new podcast. And we'll make sure to share it in the group so that all the ladies can listen to it. And yes, you are on Spotify because I saw it.
Thank you.
And it's next on my thing to play. So thank you and congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. We'll see you later. Blessings.
So moving right along, we're talking, in case you were just joining us, this is our very first virtual soft book launch for the next book that comes out January 25th, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Entrepreneur. I am joined here with the ladies from the book. There are 26 in total. And as you see, they come in, they talk, they share, and then they leave because we have to make room to be able to fit all of these incredible ladies at one time. It is not possible. So that is why you're seeing the rotation. So the next lady that we're going to have a chit chat with, she has a pretty cool announcement too. And she's been an amazing entrepreneur, but also just an amazing woman to have in our community, by my side, by my daughter's side, and just really the support and the love that she has shown the movement, the Becoming an Unstoppable Woman movement. Truth be told, she really didn't know us, but she believed in us, and that spoke volumes. So who I'm talking about, her name matches her, and I say this all the time, is Miss Lovely Laguerre. Hi, Lovely.
Hey, Hannah. Oh, that was so kind of you. Thank you so much for such a great introduction. So, hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Miss Hannah, again. That is so kind to hear such. It is my true honor being around you, all ladies, being very humble, being a part of this series, this book. So this is amazing. This is like what, my fifth my fifth book. So this is exciting. I still feel like I'm pinching myself to know that that feeling is there. Share with different women every time we we do this. So thank you. So again, my name is Lovely Laguerre. I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I've been living here for over 35 years. I'm in a sector of business of commercial real estate, and I've also been venturing for the last year and a half as a business development for other entrepreneurs to really truly bring their inspiration, motivation, if they have not find that that voice for me to lead them and help them, hold their hands on whoever need that help. So I'll be here, be echoing behind them to know, like, everything is possible. Writing this book has been, it truly has been a bittersweet because there's so much things that I have to, like, um, share my, my truth, like just like Miss Hannah said, truth be told, my journey. It has been, like, it's just, I've been holding on to, like, to express everything that I have been feeling and conquering my journey. Sharing this in this book, in this chapter, has been a little bit, a little bit hard, but I pulled it through, and I made it happen. And like many of us have been sharing, we have a lot in our plate. I've always tried to have to pick and choose what I'm gonna be finishing or executing and doing it. So the one thing I want to discuss about today was like the little part of the dreaming big. We all have big dreams, and we all dream differently in this world. To me, it could be, or to everyone, I could say it could be different. Where lifestyle, business, your relationship, or your bucket list, or your, wherever you want to venture. So there's so much to everyone, when it comes to dreaming big. So, and I always say, your it's a growth mindset you have to really, like, whatever you dream, write it down, go read over it, like, execute it, and don't let it to sleep. And if you feel like you had miss some times in between, there's always the time to kind of pick it up back and to pick up again and to keep continuing. So to always know, your time is never gonna be like over. So I said, dream big and then go far, and believe in yourself. And once you have that, there's nothing that can stop you. And I truly can say, I echo in that, the greatness of Miss Oprah, which is one of my favorite women in the, Oprah Winfrey, when she said, when our belated Maya Angelou said, "You have no idea what your legacy will be." To me, I feel like in this world right now, in this time, where as we are living, writing our stories and penciling down what we have, what our life has been. To me, I feel like that will be my legacy. Writing down everything that I'm dealing with, what I'm going through in my life journey has been, I believe that's going to be my legacy as we are speaking. And I'm not going to stop right now. This is just the beginning of me writing and be a part of a tribe that is so supporting with all these women here. So that's my dreaming big, and that's what I'll be going for. And I said, believe in yourself, and everything is possible. So that's my virtue of being a part of this continuing be a part of the She Rises tribe. So thank you, ladies, for having me. Thank you.
Wait, before you go though, you
Yes.
have I ordered it, but you have to tell the world what you just launched
I
because
know. Yes. Thank you
it's
for that.
really good.
You read it yesterday? That's amazing. That is so kind. Yes, ladies. I cannot believe I finally pulled a trigger. That is one of my year and a half. Truly has been my, my like my anchor of life. Writing and then erasing, like Miss Allison had mentioned, is like, it's like I have the story that I'm like, no, it doesn't sound good. I have to redo it. So it has been like literally like a turmoil, hurdles and challenges, changing it, happening. So this is truly is my story of my pure heavenly beauty that I have literally came, had been dreaming of it for so many years, ladies, and I finally put it to light. Truly, this like the time that we had the challenges for 2 years, coronavirus, truly had to really put a fire of to say, move, get it moving, set it out, say it and don't, say it and put it to action. And that's like the beauty of I call it my pursuit, my purpose. And truly has been my true purpose, because everything I do in this life, for me personally, I lead with a purpose. Everything I do, I always think of someone else's, how would they feel? What would they think? So I create this book. It's about a journey where to really being able to share with the world my journey of success, and also for them also to share with them like how they can themselves, implement what I have, what I have learned. If anything, I can leave with anybody in this, discussion today is I truly hope that I can touch one person. If it's one person, I hope to touch their lives, to take my journey and implement into themselves. And when it comes to creating your dream, and dream big, and never, don't dream too small, and don't let nobody tell you that you cannot dream big, because everything is possible. Because look at me, I'm doing it, and I feel like Michelle Klein mentioned, or diversity or background where we come from. When we come here in this land, we have to make the best of what we have have. So that's what I truly believe that I'm standing for. So thank you, Hannah, for reading my story, and hopefully everyone can find the book and like it. Yeah, thank you so much.
It is. I'm not done yet, but I'm in the middle. So her book is called My Pursuit, My Purpose, My Journey Within, and it's available on Amazon Kindle. So you can download it right now. I'm
Yes.
just putting that out there to the universe. So thank you, Lovely, for sharing. I'm looking forward to finishing it and just working more and more with you.
Oh, I'm excited. Thank you so
And
much. And
congratulations.
ladies, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, everybody, and have a great day and the best. I want to hear everything you guys' stories. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we're moving along. So next I want to introduce, she is newer to the arena as well. We have a lot of new faces in this book, which is actually incredible because we get all new perspectives mixed with the seasoned perspectives. That's what I like to call it, but when we're over the age of 35. So next up, you did see her at the Women's Empowerment Summit, and you get to just, I want you ladies to really just get to know her and just learn, because she's an incredible woman. She's young, she's vibrant, beautiful. And I'm talking about Miss Olivia. Hi.
Hey, thank you so much. I got so caught up in listening to everyone else before, I kind of forgot I had to say something at some point. So thank you for the introduction. I love it. So I'm Olivia. I'm founder of the BAUW Group and creator of the Mom Boss Society. And I work with moms with businesses, and I help them grow, specifically with their marketing and scaling and such, without sleazy sales tactics, which seem to be very prevalent nowadays in the marketing world. The theme of tonight, the whole dream big, do bigger, I was so glad to hear you say that was the theme, Hannah, because it's always been kind of a personal challenge of mine. I have lots and lots of big dreams, like all of us entrepreneurs, especially most of the female entrepreneurs I work with. We just have amazing big dreams. And for me, it all comes down to having a balance between the feminine energy of that dreaming and that creating and, learning and being in that sort of realm versus the masculine energy of then, okay, let's actually go out and do it. Like, let's take those ideas we just created and gave birth to and do something about it, which can be easier said than done, right? It's kind of hard to find that balance in a day-to-day life when we're doing so many other things. And for me, I can say that there are a couple things that have kind of held me back a little bit that I've had to overcome with that. And the main one there is being a perfectionist, wanting to get everything perfect before I launched it to the world. So I would find myself spending a lot of time in that dreaming phase, the feminine energy of creating and getting more certifications and doing more courses and waiting to put anything out there. And I realized that I was the only one holding myself back at that point. It was all about taking inspired, imperfect action to get the ball rolling with things. And once I took those steps and I got something that was so not perfect out there, things started snowballing towards what I was working for. The other thing that's kind of been a hurdle, but I think has really helped me grow eventually, is being very much an overgiver a lot of times. And a lot of the women I work with also struggle with this, of feeling like they have to put more out there. They have to give more to kind of prove their worth or their value as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. And it was something that was really holding me back. I would have a hard time setting boundaries with things, and would just, I was burning myself out eventually, just trying to give and give and give and make sure I was over giving my value, proving my value to people. And then it kind of came to the point where I realized that if I was burnt out and not able to function on my best level, then I wasn't helping anyone else. And that there is a very crucial difference between over-giving and over-delivering. And that I could still over-deliver with the services I was providing people without over-giving on myself or stepping over on my boundaries or lessening my worth or my value. And then the third final thing I'll say is one of the most crucial things that I've learned is to dream big and do bigger. It's all about thinking of success more as a feeling than a thing. You know, a lot of the women I work with, we talk about what are their goals, and they'll think of, well, I want to own a Tesla. I want to get this new house. I want, to go on this vacation. And those things are all great and they're nice. And I would love to own a Tesla at some point. But it's more about, what do those things actually bring out in you? What are those feelings? Why do you want that? What sort of validation does that bring you? What does that mean to you? And exploring those feelings further, and then working towards accomplishing those feelings in your life. And it might not necessarily come from having that Tesla or going on that vacation or getting that house. It might be that you actually are already successful. You already have those feelings in front of you. It's just about embracing them and realizing that at the time. So, all right, that's my 2 cents. I'm going to go back to listening to the other amazing ladies now.
Well, thank you, Olivia, for sharing. And I think, when you talk about overgiving, I feel like as moms, we do that. Like that's just kind of second nature for us as moms. So when you say mom boss, mompreneur, it's like you're a girl after my own heart, because I am a mom and I'm a grandma. So it's like, it's a double whammy, and you find yourself giving so much that it's almost like you kind of stay in that mode at times, and you have to kind of know, like, okay, so I have to set boundaries. So I think that's really important what you shared, and thank you. And everyone is going to see a lot more of her with this book, with the tour, just her being in the She Rises community. So thank you, Olivia, for being here tonight.
Thank you. See you, ladies.
See ya. All right, so I'm going to move over to Miss Michelle, and I call her my matter of fact lady, because she is very, very matter of fact. She is one of the most rawest, realest, incredible women that I've ever had the pleasure to work with, and I love her energy. And we just kind of get each other. And I really have learned a tremendous amount from her. And her energy is infectious in a good way, And she, no matter what, she just goes. So I'm so glad you're here with us tonight. You look beautiful. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm truly enjoying listening to everyone. Since Natalie started speaking, it's just so exciting to be a part of this. And I'm Michelle. I am president and founder of Clan Hospitality, and what we do is we provide organizational effectiveness coaching and personal coaching. And the reason why I went into this, which ties into a little bit of the story behind my chapter, is because I wanted to provide the hospitality and service industry, and any industry, after 10 years of doing this, it's truly any industry, with an opportunity to provide a higher level of service and also better leadership. We have to train our team members to be able to provide that level of service and to be able to be genuine leaders, because genuine leadership is what allows everyone to have that feel good type of feeling. So the title of my chapter is You Are Your Biggest Asset. And the reason why I titled it this way is because, like we were saying at the very beginning, we forget that self-care is so important. And if we don't take care of ourselves, our company will do nothing. Our organization will go nowhere because we are our biggest asset, in essence. And what does dreaming big and doing bigger mean to me? I guess that since a very young age, I always believed in dreaming big, right? And to me, dream big, it's more so about trusting. It's trusting the process. It's trusting that there is a bigger force out there that will make it happen. Now, the difference between dreaming big and doing bigger, and the gap that we have to bridge sometimes, is the plan, right? Having a plan, strategizing, collecting resources, understanding and comprehending what do I need to get from my dream to making it happen. That is the part that some people miss. And when that bridge is missed is when it's just a dream, right? So it's not just about believing in that big dream and trusting that it will happen, but taking the action towards making it happen, because things don't just happen. You know, success comes from working hard, from sacrificing, from committing, from being a part of something, from getting yourself educated, from learning from mistakes. So in a nutshell, I think that dreaming big and doing bigger, it's about trusting the process and also taking strategic action towards that, whatever it is that is in your hands to make it work. Thank you so much, Hannah, for having me. We can't hear you.
Got ahead of
There you go.
myself. When you talk about, taking steps, when I came up with the topic, dream big, do bigger, what I really meant by that is what every single one of you has captured so far. It's really doing the part is the most important. Like taking, like you said, having that plan, taking those action steps. It does require sacrifice. It does require accountability. It does require being strict with ourselves and even having our own boundaries for ourselves. That is what I mean by doing bigger. And every single person who's spoken so far has talked about that. And you just literally reiterated the fact is it does require us to do the steps, to do the work. Like we can dream all day. We can dream the biggest dreams we want, but the only way they come to reality is by us making them come to reality. So thank you so much.
And
for
also,
sharing.
Hannah, doing the work in every aspect, right? From an emotional standpoint or spiritual standpoint, where one of our co-authors was saying, feel the feelings that I think it was Olivia that was saying, feel the feeling of how it feels to have that goal accomplished, right? And then what are the physical things that we can do to make it work, like finding the resources, planning it out, strategizing, collecting feedback from someone else perhaps. And a lot of the times we don't, if that dream doesn't come to fruition right away, sometimes it has to do with it wasn't the right time. And if you truly believe in that dream, keep on believing, keep on working towards it in a physical way, in a spiritual way, because eventually when the time is right, it will happen. Sorry, I just had to chime in.
It's true. It is true. And it's like what you said about trusting the journey or trusting the process. And we all have to do that. And sometimes for some of us, that's the hardest part because we want to control everything. So we have to kind of just let go and trust the process. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for taking the lead and just for being you. So I'm going to introduce our next beautiful woman. She is very new to the She Rises family. I had the honor and privilege of working with her in another book. She has quite a journey, honestly. And she hasn't been able to be on a lot of the things that we're doing, but I'm so glad she made it here tonight. I know she had a little bit of trouble getting in the back end of this. As techie people, I'm not techie, so I'm with you on that one. But who I'm talking about is Melissa. Melissa is an incredible woman who I have had the pleasure of really getting to know and just working alongside with, and she has such insight. So thank you so much for being on with us tonight, Melissa. I can't wait to hear what you're going to share, and welcome.
Enjoyed this process and being a part of the group, and I know the book is going to be fantastic, and I'm so excited about reading everybody's chapters. I am an intuitive business coach, and I work with women on overcoming the challenges, that their top challenges, which they identify through an assessment that I've created. And, some of them are things that we've talked about already, right? And so like negative self-talk, perfectionism, procrastination, self-doubt, second-guessing your decisions. And one that's come up a lot, although you haven't called it yet what I call it, but it's self-trust. And that is not only committing, but showing up for yourself first every day before you start giving yourself away. And you're giving yourself away on an empty tank. But it's hard. Even I flunked the self-trust test. So it's one I'm personally working on this year. I started my business as a consulting firm, and I was helping startups to design and define their ideal culture and work environment, preferably before they started hiring anybody and messed it up. And so I worked with a number of female founders and CEOs. And it was interesting because they would open up to me about the challenges that they were facing. And frankly, they were the same challenges I faced when I started my business. And so I started coaching as part of my consulting. And I coached guys too, but that was usually pretty transactional. They're not one to show their cards too much. But anyway, this summer, I unfortunately had to spend a week in the hospital and was diagnosed with a very rare chronic autoimmune disease. And while I was in the hospital, I got really, really crystal clear on my purpose. I've always known my purpose is to help people live better lives, but it really crystallized down to helping women live better lives so that they can show up in their business, they can be decisive, they don't worry about losing everything. And I also want them and all of us to not only know, but rely on our intuition to make good business decisions. That doesn't mean we don't do our homework, we do. But if you can, and I have lots of strategies for tapping into your intuition, and I'm a highly intuitive person. So if you follow those strategies, you do your homework, and then you just relax and let your intuition give you that, yep, go, nope, don't, then the second guessing goes away, especially the more that happens. So that's a big part of my coaching. So I am in the process of launching this coaching program, and I'm actually talking to an organization about doing coaching for their women employees. And I was like really excited about that. I was like, well, I hadn't even thought about that one, but it dropped in my lap. And, it's just, as far as dreaming big, I knew that at some point I was going to do the strategic HR consulting on culture, but it never occurred to me in a million years that I would end up here having such a passion and such a commitment to helping other women, and that I'd get to not only use my intuition in doing it, but help them learn how to use theirs as well. So it was a big dream that surprised me. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So one of the other things that I cover that I've heard mentioned in here are achieving those big goals, right? And so we've got outcome goals, which we can't really always control, but we also have effort goals or action steps. That's where our control is. So when I tell my clients, they always go, "Oh, I look like if I feel like I'm looking at Mount Everest," I'm like, "Yep, doesn't feel good to be in your flip-flops looking at Mount Everest." So look at what's directly in front of you. Celebrate your small wins along the way. And before you know it, you're going to be on the top of Mount Everest.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Melissa, for being here.
Yeah.
I can't wait for people to read your chapter, and just they're going to get to know so much more about you and the journey that you have been going through. And I hope and pray that you are healing every single day and getting stronger every single day. And we look forward to hearing more and more from you. So thank you for being
here.
I
didn't even mention my chapter, which
you
is
didn't.
I didn't. I'm so sorry. It's called Building Your Resiliency. And that totally came out of my experience in the hospital and being so sick, because I'd always thought resiliency was an inherent trait that some people were born with. And I'm a huge research nerd. So when I was researching, I found out that it was actually a skill set you could build. So I incorporate that as well. I plan on teaching it as a separate class, doing workshops on it. And I have the steps in there that I personally use to build my resiliency in my chapter. So I hope you enjoy it when you read it.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. I definitely practice my resilience toning up muscle for sure. Yeah. So make sure you share that with the group.
Absolutely. So, I'd be happy to.
Before we continue, I see Priya joined us, and I'm going to have Priya take over in terms of introducing the rest of the authors and closing us up for this evening. I have full faith that she will be amazing. And before I leave, I wanted to say that there's a quote that stuck out to me, and I focus on this a lot. And it's from Les Brown, and I'm a huge Les Brown fan. He just is somebody that I can really relate to. And he says, your dream was given to you, right? If someone else can't see it for you, that's okay. It was given to you, not them. It's your dream. Hold it, nourish it, and cultivate it. So, I mean, there it is. When we talk about dreaming big and doing bigger, like I said earlier, we can dream all day. But it's actually taking the steps to making those dreams a reality. And those steps, meaning, yes, in the entrepreneurial world, but also, like we talked about just before we went on, about self-care. Because if we burn the candle at both ends, we're no good to our business, to ourselves even. So it's really the balance, and really understanding that our dream is just that. It's ours. It's ours to grow. It's ours to cultivate. And it's ours to make it a reality. So that's my little nugget. The name of my chapter is called A Girl with a Dream. And I can truly tell you that prior to 5 years ago, I would have never been a public speaker. I would have never done workshops. I was in a completely different field. I was in the beauty business, and I had no interest in writing books. I was always a journaler, but I never imagined until something so pivotal hit my world that it kind of changed the trajectory of where things are now. And it has been the biggest two things. It has been the biggest hurt that I've ever felt, but it's also been the biggest blessing. And what I've learned from that is those dreams that I've been dreaming all this time, and those things that I felt on my heart, are there for a reason. And now it's my time to make those dreams a reality and do those bigger steps. So thank you for letting me be here with you. I am trusting Priya to take the stage and introduce the rest of the beautiful women tonight. And we will see you ladies soon. Adriana has you guys covered on the back end. Have an amazing rest of the virtual book tour and stay safe, ladies.
Thanks, Hannah. What a pleasure to be able to introduce the rest of these ladies here that I've been collaborating with, and haven't actually got to meet all of you, but I've had a great time in some of our authors meeting. So I am actually going to start first with Lauren, because I got to spend a little time with you yesterday in our meeting and hear about your podcast, and you have such a bright energy. You're doing such amazing things and so generous and welcoming to and ready to help everyone, which I think is really what this movement is all about in terms of being collaboration over competition. So I love, being around you and your willingness to just be like, who needs help with this? And who needs help with that? DM me. I can give you the template. I can give you this. And I noticed that I think you have a podcast called Wisdom. So or you have something there that you do around wisdom, but you seem like a really wise woman to me. So I definitely think you're going to be an asset to the readers in this chapter, your chapter in this book. And maybe you could introduce yourself to us and let us know more about you and dreaming big and doing bigger.
Oh, thank you so much, Priya. Yeah, so my name is Lauren Weiss. I am a female cycle advocate and master certified health and life coach. I help women business leaders lean into their bodies, find harmony, and connect with their cycle to enhance their business and life. And my chapter title is Work Like a Woman, Get Paid Like a Man. So essentially what my work is around is women business leaders really focusing on their bodies and what's happening hormonally and cyclically, because right now the business world is kind of set up around men and their cycle. Right. So we are kind of, through my chapter, it kind of explains how we can leverage our own cycles, and by working cyclically, kind of essentially, if you will, go with the flow. So it was so interesting, the topic today about, dream big and do bigger, because I think about, when you're able to leverage your intuitive feminine genius combined with that take action masculine, you really do become your most powerful self. We have to bring both pieces. It's not just about doing, it is also about being. And when you combine both the being and the doing, that's when the magic happens. There was a quote that I found by Albert Einstein I absolutely loved, and it said, "Never give up on what you want to do. The person with big dreams is more powerful than the one with all the facts." And what that means to me is, it's essential to stick to what you want to do, even when others think it's unrealistic. Because that, again, it kind of goes back into where the magic happens. How can we really make a difference if we don't have those dreams? Just like what Hannah was bringing out earlier. So I am so ecstatic to be a part of this movement. Just like you were saying, Priya, it's all about collaboration, not competition, really rising all those ships. I can't wait for this book to come out. I can't wait to read every single one's chapters. I know I've been sitting here, I'm like, I can't, I have my chapter, but I can't wait to read Priya's or Alien's or Hannah's or, Roxana's, like Gail's, all of the chapters. I'm so excited. And I mean, I've never met such incredible women. And to just let you know, yes, I do have a podcast. It's entitled The Empress of Empowerment. And I am on Wisdom. Wisdom is an app. It's like a social audio similar to Clubhouse. So you can find me on all of those different random places as well. But I am so ecstatic to be here. And thank you so much for allowing me to share my chapter title. Thank you, Priya.
Oh, thank you. And I think it's so important what you're doing in terms of feminine energy and raising awareness, because we make up a pretty decent size of the population and we've got a presence in our energy. So the more understanding that we have, and also teaching our men to integrate with that energy, is going to be beneficial to all of us. So we're very excited for everything that you're doing. And I also cannot wait to read your chapter and hit you up for all your tips that you've offered. Be looking for me in your DMs. All right, thank you. I'm going to move over to Aileen. And while I don't know as much about Aileen, from what I've been able to take away is that not only is she an entrepreneur, but also embracing her intuitive side, which is right up my alley as a third generation intuitive. So, really starting to use all elements of her being to share and make her mark in the world. So I'm going to let Aileen take over and tell us about yourself, your ideas when it comes to dream big, doing bigger, and a little bit about your chapter in the book.
Hi, Priya. It's good to meet you. And good morning to everyone. It's already Tuesday, my time. I'm from Manila, Philippines. And it's 9 a.m. where I am. So it's coffee and breakfast time for me. So my name is Aileen Sikat. And I was part of book one. And I'm very happy to be part of book two. And in book one, my chapter was called From Fragile to Fierce. It tackles my journey, and it's more geared towards young women or women who feel young and still have to find the fierce side to themselves and how to just navigate life in general. And in this book, too, my chapter is called Turning Passion into Purpose. And one takeaway I would like to leave with those who are watching us is that not everywhere you fit is where you belong. And not everything you are good at is something you are meant to do for a living. I had to learn that the hard way because I have always felt like I can be a Jill of many trades. Not all trades, but just quite a number. And it has been hard for me to say no to opportunities in the past. And later on, I will realize that just because I can be not so bad at doing something or I can be good even in the eyes of others, doesn't mean I'm meant to make a career out of this or doesn't mean that this job will make my heart sing. And sometimes dreaming big and doing bigger has to factor that in. Not everywhere we are good at is something we are meant to do for a living. Maybe for a hobby or maybe to help others. And it's up to us to navigate and to figure that as we go along. And I am a dreamer. I love dreams. I love dreaming. I love daydreaming. I dream a lot. But indeed, we need to ground ourselves and take action to make those dreams come to life. And in the end, it's us who make things happen for ourselves. And of course, the universe, God, our families and friends will all help us and push us when we need a push. But in the end, it's our own actions, our thought patterns, our choices that will really make those dreams come to life. And in this second book, I talk about my journey because reinvention has been the name of the game for myself. And Priya, just to tell you a little, I'm a lawyer by profession, and then I became a university professor. And eventually, I embraced my intuitive side, which has been with me since childhood, but I opted to keep in the background as I pursued all these logic based pursuits. And now I'm still a lawyer and I still teach part time in university, but I identify more as a spiritual life coach, a tarot coach, an energy healer. And that's where I want to make my mark as an entrepreneur. And now I'm no longer afraid to take the plunge. As my chapter says, I'm trying to turn my passion into purpose. And I'm trying not to get distracted along the way as I go about it, even if I may discover a few new things I can be good at again and maybe land opportunities. So, um, to the young women watching, you're the ones I really hope to work with, and to those who are trying to reinvent themselves also, because it's never too late. I have often felt pigeonholed in the past, and I was told it's a step down, or you're already doing well, a legal career. Why would you want to do that? Why get into the woo? Stuff like that. And I had to embrace who I was and just let it in one ear, out the other, and filter what I will let get to me. So to anyone trying to reinvent themselves, you can do that. I'm trying to do that for myself. I'm not saying I've done that fully. I'm along the way, but Let's go on the journey together and reinvent ourselves and find our paths and make things happen and keep dreaming. So again, not everywhere we fit is where we belong, and it's up to us to filter if we can belong or not, or if it's just a meantime place, a stopover, a layover. Our journeys are all different, but it's all worthwhile and meaningful. So Priya, I really hope to talk to you more in the future and work with
Yes.
you and meet you again. I'm very happy to meet you.
Oh,
And I know you want to talk to the other lady in blue.
I
We're
do.
both
But you
in
know
love
what? I
with
should
you.
have introduced you like this is Aileen. She's an intuitive and she's an energy healer. And in her spare time, she's a lawyer and a professor.
Too many hats.
Welcome to 2021, ladies. This is how we do it.
I should next time come with many hats and then just keep
Yes, I
changing.
know. It's just like, yeah,
Bonnet.
in the background, I'm also just a lawyer and a professor. Like it's her leftovers in the fridge. Like, oh my goodness. So that's fabulous. I love that you are pursuing your passion and purpose. Thank you so much, Aileen.
Thank you, and I hope to see you all again soon. I'll let you have your one-on-one with this other
My
lovely
one-on-one. Wow, look at this. I get to spend time one-on-one. Thank you so much, Aileen. Yes, I do get to spend one-on-one time with Roxana, who I have also had the pleasure of being in some authors meetings with. And I'm glad that Aileen just talked about passion and purpose, because you definitely are following your passion and purpose in the health and financial sectors. You're doing a lot of stuff and you're doing it so boldly. I feel like you're a take no for an answer kind of gal, and you're really pushing through with what you believe in. That's what I picked up from just even your questions during our meeting. So I'm going to let you take it from there, Roxana, and let us know more about what you're doing, how you have dreamt big and done bigger, and what your chapter is all about.
Well, thank you for the introduction. I'm very happy to be part of this movement. That's the first thing I have to say, and this is completely new to me. So I'm getting out of my comfort zone, like I said before. I'm normally always behind the scenes trying to fix problems. So my name is Roxana, and first of all, I have to say that I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and a friend. Because when people see you in a leadership position, sometimes they don't think you have a life, and we all do. So, like everybody's saying, we just need to find that balance between, in my opinion, between our healthcare needs and our financial needs, and we have to create a plan and stick to it. I think that's the only way we can actually, you know, start like following, in order to follow our dreams and actually see that that something is happening, changes are coming, and we feel that we are accomplishing something. We need to get organized first, and we need to find our own balance, because it's not the same for everybody. And right now I'm the CEO of First Person Care Clinic. This is a nonprofit. We see patients regardless of their ability to pay. It is very touching for me, and it's very important, since through my journey, I personally have to deal with a lot of healthcare issues, the same with my parents. So I am now basically focused and dedicated. I feel that my passion is to help people in general, especially women and children, when it comes to healthcare issues, because I understand that no matter how responsible we are, taking care of our health and the healthy habits we might have, we can get sick. And at least in the United States, it can become a problem because it can be really costly. So we need to be really careful, and we don't want our family nor ourselves to be worrying about medical bills when we are sick. So basically, what I do, like I'm constantly trying to find new opportunities to create new programs to reduce costs of healthcare and improve how the care is delivered. That's where I'm constantly looking for new ideas and trying to implement new things to see how can we all find that balance, because without having good health, especially mentally, it's really hard to accomplish anything in life. So that for me, mental health is number one.
And one of the things I noticed when we were talking about what you do, you take such a whole life approach to everything. Like, I feel like you've considered everything right down to your intake form and the way, the care that you take in terms of if someone feels uncomfortable or shy, you've accounted for that and how they can relate to someone that they feel comfortable with on all levels. So I when you talk about, you've really thought this through, you have really thought, when you were dreaming with like pen and paper, taking notes, I feel like, because you put it all in there.
And I really enjoy it because when you talk to people and they bring their problems to you and they talk to you and they open themselves, you learn a lot. And then that helps you become a better person and a better entrepreneur, you name it. Overall in life, it'll help you. And so the name of my chapter is a Soon Soon Within. And the Soon Soon is a little bird, as I said, endemic from Cuba. But it's beautiful, is fierce, unstoppable, and that's what I believe women are. So that's why I titled my chapter that way. And I share briefly who I am, some of the challenges I went through, and especially I want women to understand that when you create something, you are bearing most of the risk, but you will also enjoy the big rewards. So that's very important to know. The more risks you take, you have to be careful. You have to, create a plan, but you will enjoy at the end, and it's gonna be good not only for you but also for your family and all those people around you that you care for. So
I agree, and I think the thing I admire about you is I think not only are you creating from a place of taking risks, but you're also creating from your heart, which I think goes hand in hand. You're creating from your heart, you're willing to take the risk, and you have a dream and a vision that is going to benefit many. And I think that's totally in line with what this movement is all about. And as you said, you have stepped out of your comfort zone. That's what I also love, just you and I being one of the authors and being amongst other women in business. It gives us room, no matter where we are at in our entrepreneur life. It gives us a chance to step beyond our comfort zone. And I can tell that, definitely just even getting out and speaking and things like that, that you're getting more comfortable and more relaxed with it. And so it's great to see.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited.
I know, I'm very excited too. So your chapter is there. I also have a chapter, as you know, that we're co-authoring together. My company is Energy Living 365, and I'm a third generation intuitive psychic and healer. I am an entrepreneur, so I also have some other things I do. I'm an online magazine publisher. I'm a life and relationship coach. And so when I think about dreaming big and dreaming bigger, what stands out to me is, as a child, I was born with intuitive abilities. I always thought I was dreaming because I thought, oh, is somebody else seeing that? People are like, oh, that's not there. What you're saying isn't really happening. So I think for me, I learned to live in almost a dream world and then realized that things were real, and learned how to turn my dreams into real visions. And when earlier Olivia was talking about being an overgiver, I'm what I call a recovering people pleaser. I spent the majority of my life pleasing other people. And what I do now is help people find who they are. Because when you're always pleasing people, you sometimes don't know what you like, what you want, who you are, where you're coming from. And so going through the years, I learned to find out who I am. And it took me a while to get there, to learn that it's important who I am and what pleases me as well. So I think this is why, for me, I help people to find their keys to their own potential in life and the power within them. And my chapter is called The Keys to Be Me. And I think that we all have an element through our entrepreneurial life it's part of who we are as women. It's what led us to kind of want to solve a problem or make something easier for someone else in life, or take a stance on something, is through our own experiences through life, our own learning lessons, our own wins and our own mistakes. And what I love about becoming an unstoppable woman is it isn't about being becoming a perfect woman. It isn't about being the woman that is, just doing everything to the perfect degree that we might see. It's about being unstoppable and getting out there, taking risks and working together. So I really am very excited that we're going to be having our actual hard launch coming up soon, and you'll be able to get your own hands on a copy of the books with all these fabulous women. There are some more authors that I imagine just couldn't make it today, being that this is a global project. We're on all kinds of different time zones. But I look forward to you all being able to get your copy of the book and being able to replay this if you're just getting in. There's some really good nuggets on tonight's conversation, and we look forward to seeing you all again. So thank you so much for being with us, and we will talk to you all soon.